we're gonna go on to watching. Would you
Mr.
say
Garrett.
your favorite YouTuber?
What?
Would you say this is your favorite YouTuber?
You can't do this to me.
I would say it's my favorite YouTuber.
Yeah?
Dude, do not type that shit in my fucking chat,
What
Josh.
did he say?
All right, that's fucked up, dude.
Fucking ban him. Kick his ass.
I'll ban the only fucking viewer. Fuck you.
What did he
He
say?
said Delix is a transphobe confirmed.
Oh.
Wrong. Absolutely
Can't have
wrong.
stuff spreading like that. That's fucked up.
I support the trans people more than anybody else.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah. I don't know about that either. All right, so which one do we want to go with here? We got the copyright is cringe, intellectual property isn't real, a Wes
Yeah,
Watson and Andrew Wilson drama,
I
or
don't care about. This is like some fucking dating shit. I don't
yeah,
care about.
yeah, or I'm not sorry you lost your job.
It's up to you, bud. But I have a lot to say about one thing, and I haven't watched the video. So
This one
one of
here,
the videos, yeah.
we're gonna watch this one.
I
I don't
watched
think it's not
the
copyrighted.
college one.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. I
Okay.
watched also the reference video as well.
Okay. All right. Right here we have Ojama Garrett's. He does
Mhm.
a variety of content. He does React content. He does um, StarCraft, 7 Days. What else does he do?
He does everything.
Everything. He really does everything. He's a jack of all trades. So go check out some of his videos. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's stupid. The more and more I think about it, the more I think it just is just not worth anybody's time. So before I hop into that, let me just quick
Yes.
plug. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. If you like the video, please like it.
It is.
If you dislike the video, please dislike it. But what I really would ask for is comment some feedback down below about what you didn't like about the video so that I can improve this video going forward so I can make the best videos possible for viewers like you, because I'm here ultimately to serve the viewer. Please, thank you. Let's just hop right into it. So, what I mean by copyright, I don't think it should be a thing anymore. I grapple with the idea a lot, and I'm still technically on the fence about it. It comes up again because specifically of a YouTuber named Ludwig. I'm sure a lot of people know who Ludwig is.
Can you
He's
pause the
very
video real
famous
quick?
Twitch streamer.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So I don't wanna be mean, but he needs to put the camera down a little bit. It looks like we're above him, like looking down at him. This isn't like a mean thing. I would like it to be.
You're saying his camera view is not good? It is above. It is slightly above.
It's,
Um,
yeah, it just looks like we're like looking down at him, and that's
would you
weird.
say my view is better, or what do you think?
It's like,
Should I get closer to me?
I don't know. Yours is like fine for
Sorry.
stream because it's supposed to be a little bit chiller, but like whenever he's the main focus, you'd want it to be like improperly framed.
I wax my nose hairs. You like that?
Okay, brother,
Got clean AR,
chill.
you can stick things
Chill.
in there.
Josh is in the fucking chat, fucking gooning, watching this shit.
Yeah, buddy. That's good. All right. No.
But yeah, no, like that's probably the
We could go
only thing
lower.
so far, like with his setup that I would have an issue with is that it's like looking down at him whenever.
Is it better
If
to
you
look
wanted to
down
be
or
like
up?
in, well, you want to probably be like on level, right? You want to be talking to the audience, right? So it would be
Just like
looking at,
you're kind of like right next to each other, like hey,
kinda, yeah.
like this, huh?
But it's like
Hey, bud.
if you're looking down. I mean, I get why he's looking down. He's probably like reading notes from his phone or something,
Sure.
which is fine.
Yeah.
But like the audience is looking like down at you, which is just a little weird for the framing of the thing. But
Yeah, I don't. It's not that bad.
I mean, I guess.
I mean, if we're critiquing or not critiquing, but rather making comment on his setup, how do you feel about the blurred background? First of all, I don't know how to do that, but I kind of wish I did.
It's something to do with I think Nvidia or something.
Is-
There's like a automatic AI blur background type shit.
Yeah.
You'd have to look it up.
He's got his family running around back there. That's
Yeah,
cool.
I think it's fine to
I get
do
it
the
with the
blur.
blur with the family. I like it.
Yeah.
It's an
I
aesthetic.
just mean like the framing of like the looking down at is
Yeah. Yeah.
a little
Well,
weird.
it's better than like so. You know, a mistake a lot of men make is when they take selfies, they go below.
Yeah, they go
They give us
below.
one of these selfies, and they look down at the camera like this.
Yeah.
like
Where they like give themselves like an extra like 3 chins or whatever.
like
Even though if they like look normal or like straight on, they look fine.
yeah, like they kind of look scary because it's like I'm looking down at you.
Yeah, it's weird.
You know?
If like, but like at the same time, like you'll see a lot of women do like the really high up one where like it just completely transforms how you look normally.
Oh yeah. I definitely have seen that. No, I don't do high up pictures. For a reason.
You like you shouldn't do either or. You should probably do more center because it like kind of warps how you look. It's just like
talking to each
it
other.
gives you like a weird perspective onto the person, and it's just not
Yeah.
like really accurate to what they actually look like.
I do kind of like the ball cap look though, with the headphones and the.
Yeah, everything else looks
It's kind
fine.
of
It's
a
just
vi-
like where
it's a vibe.
the perspective is like a little
Yeah.
off,
Yeah.
which wouldn't be like
Streamer.
crazy to fix.
Sure.
And I saw that he and Asmongold, other streamers like Asmongold,
Asmongold,
are
I like
reacting to this,
Asmongold.
and
Sometimes
he
he's a
made
little edgy for me,
video
but
about ChatGPT scaring you, being scary, being big spooky, big scary spooky.
is Chat
because
GPT spooky?
essentially in the video he starts off by saying
If you're
that
in
he doesn't
specific
believe
fields,
in
it
the
could
AI
be.
hype train, but
Yeah.
he thinks it's fundamentally going to change all of like the universe or something like that. And
I kind of
he then
agree with that
segues
a little
from
bit.
there to go into say
What he just
that,
said that's going to change the world and everything, right?
I don't. Well, I don't think it's gonna do that. I think it's just gonna like move people around. Right. Whenever McDonald's added kiosks, they didn't like fire a lot of people. They just moved them into the back. People just get moved around whenever new things come around.
Yeah, and they get to build a bigger kitchen.
Yeah. That like the infrastructure changes, people get moved, but at the same time, people aren't like losing their jobs. They're just going into like a similar field.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which for some people can be like scary, and I get that, right? Like losing your job fucking sucks, or like the idea of losing your job, sucks.
Yeah.
But most of the time, like from my estimations, a lot of people have like a really, I don't like overly negative view of companies. Most companies probably really don't want to fire you; they just want to move you around.
Right.
Right? Because then they have to go through the entire process of rehiring somebody, and then oftentimes that's more work than it's really worth. Especially if you have somebody that's been in the field for a while already. Like it's more work than it's worth.
Yeah. Trust me, if you know how a restaurant or a store is scheduling works,
Especially restaurants.
I assure you, they can
are.
fit you into that schedule.
Absolutely. They'll fit you in anywhere.
And even if they just have to wait for a single turnover, and then like they're gonna be once again needing people, right?
Yes, yeah.
Like, people come and go
absolutely.
so fast, it's not going to be an issue of firing. It's just not
No.
possibly going to be. It's just not.
For like lower entry jobs, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you know something interesting about McDonald's that most
What?
stores don't necessarily have is they have their own on payroll groundskeeper. Each McDonald's does.
Really?
They do. Yeah. This is something
I didn't know
learned
that.
through my career. Yeah.
I thought you were gonna bring up the whole like how they'll like send you to university and shit if you like get to be a manager. And
Oh
stuff.
yeah. And yeah, McDonald's. A lot of places actually do that, and you don't even realize it.
Yeah, I know that.
Taco
but
Bell does that too.
It's like actually really cool that they'll do shit like that.
Actually,
Because like at the same time, it
Yeah.
makes them a fuck ton of more money, right? You have somebody who's like really got a business degree and is like a manager of one of their local stores. That's the exact shit they want.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, no, I fuck. I ran on like the stigma of certain types of jobs for hours, despite only ever having one.
Look,
But
I've worked remedial jobs in my life, worked jobs you would call remedial, and
yeah.
I've moved up the ladder of those jobs, and there's possibility there. I think
Oh, absolutely.
I think anybody who thinks there's not possibility there, it's
They're dead wrong.
they're dead wrong, and they've maybe put themselves into a box.
Oh
Um,
yeah, yeah.
Whether that's a box they put themselves in a desire to be unique,
Hmm.
or something like that, it's a mistake. All right.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's just like kind of silly to act like there's no way to move further in like a job like that, right? Like
Yeah.
you from what I understand, if you just put in like the bare minimum, like you could get pretty far in like those types of jobs.
It's see, yes, but also no. Like there's a certain way you need to act like somebody they would want to put in charge, right? You can't
Oh
just
yeah,
show
well
up. You need
absolutely.
to act like
But
you
I
would
just
be
mean
good.
like in the work area. Like you
Yeah.
put in like the minimum work that you need to do,
Hmm.
and like you just do it like no complaints, no nothing. You just do it. I think most jobs
I'm telling
will
you,
pick
you
up on that pretty
they
quickly.
will, right? And I think I'll put a little bit higher than that. You need to do it with a positive attitude. You need to not be complaining. You need to not be
Yeah, that's what
putting
I was
down the
saying. Like
work
without
environment.
complaining, without
Yeah. But
yeah, yeah, that's what I said.
you'll have longtime employees though that will, talk shit about their work environment,
Uh huh.
when the boss isn't around. That, and I assure you, people pick up on that, and
Oh, absolutely.
that is not in your best interest. I understand you may be
No.
frustrated with work. Everybody gets frustrated with work.
Uh huh.
Um,
There are proper
Keep that to
ways to
yourself.
go through that though,
Yeah.
right? Like put on a brave face and move through, as the saying goes.
I don't know. I could go on and on. Attitude is everything. You need to be positive in life.
Yeah, it's like 70% of
I'm
like what most people
yeah.
perceive of you.
I'm telling you, I stocked groceries for 7 years of my life, and
Mm. Based.
stocking groceries, it's not a bad job. I enjoyed it. Um,
It's probably like a really like relatively like calming thing, I imagine.
it's therapeutic. You're doing work. It's
Yeah.
not hard work. It's not work that's gonna make you hurt.
Mm.
But you're completing a task. You have a stack
Yeah.
of cubes. You stock the stack of cubes. You get done. It looks face. It's looks all full
Looks
and
nice. You
clean.
complete you accomplish something.
Yeah, you come back. You do it the next same thing the next day. Now that bothers people doing the same kind of activity over and over.
Repetition.
Yeah, but
I feel like a lot of people do like having like a solid habit.
I do.
Yeah.
I have no problem.
Um yeah, no. I like my dad works as a baker.
Hmm.
He fucking loves it because he's been doing it for like 30 some odd years.
Heck yeah, baking is
So,
ace.
yeah. Uh, but recently, High V has been doing a little bit of some annoying shit, so he's been kind of getting a little upset by that.
Oh,
Yeah, and it probably does reflect somewhat in his work, but like the shit that they're doing is sounds pretty obnoxious. That's besides the
for sure. All right, back to the video. We're only a
yeah
minute in.
yeah.
ChatGPT, OpenAI is bad because they train AI on copyrighted material, specifically transcripts from his YouTubes.
Okay, so here's the point. Here's what they're presenting. The material that AI is using is material that is owned by people. Thus, AI is bad, right? Do you agree with that premise?
That I agree. That's what hit the like Ludwig's premises. My thing is though, is whenever it comes to this stuff, I have a question.
Hmm.
Can non-human entities like transform something into being like something else? So could an AI make something that is no longer derivative of another product?
I believe everything is derivative of another product, even
Okay.
if it's human made, if it's AI made.
So I would agree with you there.
Yeah.
But then the question is like, is that um, derivative? Is it close enough to the original product to where like it actually becomes a legal issue, or is it like different enough to where it's fine? Because in my opinion, I think AI stuff is probably derivative, but at the same time,
It can
it's
be,
different
right?
enough. Yeah, it can be. Depends on what you program for and whatnot. But it's different enough generally to the point where it doesn't really matter
Mm-hmm.
if it's using copyrighted material, because as people, right, we pull inspirations from all sorts of works, so they would be, I don't know, I guess derivative of that.
Yeah.
That's my general issue with this like line of argumentation.
Well, let's say you create an AI image. You can put in inputs. You could say make a image with Ronald McDonald, in it, and it will make you an image with Ronald McDonald in it, right? And then on the other side, you could say create an image of a forest with mystical creatures in it and stuff, and it will create that image. Would you say that the one with Ronald McDonald is copyright material, but the other one is not, even though it could be pulling material from a copyrighted source?
So whenever you get into usage of copyrighted characters, that can be a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't think I think that would be like a little bit trickier under the law. It probably would be like you probably would receive a cease and desist for some of that
Mm-hmm.
if you were to use like fucking like Goofy in like a photo and you tried to sell it. Like that would probably be a big deal even if you like generated it with AI because it's like a copyrighted character. Um, Even if you're like drawing things, it could be like an issue as well. Um, from what I understand. So like that's a little bit different, but like the general argument isn't like specific characters or stuff like
It's
that.
more
It's
like the
like
other example I gave.
what was the other example you
Well, where
gave?
it's using
The forest
copyrighted
with the
material to,
mystical.
yeah,
Yes, generate a new image.
yeah, that's not
Or like
copyright
that's what I
infringement.
think
Yeah,
is it's generating a new image that is yes derivative, but at the same time like different
it's
enough to the point where it's, in my opinion, I think it would be legally protected um, under the copyright framework.
the only the end result is to be taken into consideration. Does the end result
Um,
have copyrighted material in it or copyrighted
yeah,
characters and stuff?
yeah.
Okay.
But like for art freaks or whatever, they take the shit like incredibly serious. Like if somebody is like copying an art style that's generally, especially like an art style that's seemingly pretty unique, like that's kind of a big deal in the art world. So for those guys, those are,
Yeah, that's a joke. I'm sorry. All right. Art
what do you
styles
mean
are
that's a
meant to
joke?
be used and copied. Like, you have no
Um,
ownership over a style of art,
sure, yeah, I agree with that.
even if
But
it's
the
a new
thing
type of
is that like
animation.
a, seemingly a lot of art people are pretty weird over a lot of that stuff. But
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
I don't know. I don't know a lot of
It's
art
just
people
like the
like that.
general sentiment I pick up from the art freaks on Twitter.
Art freaks on Twitter, but
Yeah.
Kyle, I need
And
to.
I'm not calling artists in general art freaks. I'm just like talking
Yeah.
about specific crazies on Twitter
All
that
right.
are art freaks.
Well, that's kind of offensive.
Yeah, I'm like calling like a specific like crazy group on the internet art freaks. I think it's funny.
I need to use the bathroom real quick.
Go for it. This is the second time in the past hour and a half you had to go to the bathroom.
Well, I've been drinking many bottles of water.
Yeah, you're old as fuck. Go to the
Shut the fuck. Fuck you, dude.
bathroom. Damn. All alone, all again. Alright, how's things going with you guys? They going good? Having fun? Chilling? Maxing? Relaxing all cool and all, shooting some b-ball outside the school. Won a couple of guys. Yeah, they were up to no good. Started making trouble in my neighborhood. Oh, well, no fight. My mom got scared. She moved out of your Uncle Bel Air. Whistle for cab, and when it came near, the license plate said fresh and a dice in the mirror. Anything I could say, this cab was rare, but I was like, nah, forget it. You're on to Bel Air.
Are you singing
Yes.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? Is that what you're doing for the boys?
Yeah.
I respect that.
I said, hi, what's up? And then I started doing that.
Hell yeah, dude. Beautiful.
Yeah. Gotta keep them entertained.
Yeah, thank you.
And as everybody knows, Fresh Prince of Bel Air is one of the most entertaining shows ever. Really funny. Really good show.
You know,
What are you about to? What are you about to say?
it's been a while since I've watched it, so I'm trying to remember things from it. And there was some pretty fun. I don't know. There's some pretty funny jokes.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's a pretty good show. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it also dealt with a lot of interesting issues.
It did. It did.
Yeah.
The whole arc with Will and his family,
Uh-huh.
like his like direct family, is very touching.
Yeah, I'm also talking about like Carlton and like fitting in with
Yeah.
a community and whatnot. Yeah, that stuff is all
Dude.
really fascinating. They do like a really good job of portraying all that stuff.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
love
it's a really good
his
show.
dance. I can do his dance.
The Carlton dance?
Yeah, I can do it.
Why did you do it for the
I'm
stream?
not gonna do it right now, but I'm just saying I can do it.
Uh-huh.
It's cute.
Prove it. Prove it.
No.
Prove it.
No.
Prove it.
No. I don't have my dancing shoes.
Uh-huh.
All right,
Can't
back
do
to the
it.
video. Back to the video. Hey, we got content here, boys.
He
Bro's
says that
lying.
ChatGPT
What?
Yep, 12 said it. 12.
Yeah,
Fucking Josh
look,
said it.
look.
Show us. Show us.
Okay,
Show us.
okay. Look, I will have a dancing stream one day. I promise you. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And
Man's
I-
gonna pull
and
up
I will
just dancing
show
12 with
off-
a crop top on and those fucking booty shorts you
Look.
talked about earlier.
Okay. All right. We'll see about that.
I am not turning into that. I'm not tuning into that stream.
You're not coming.
Wink.
Wink. Okay. Yeah. Wink. All right, guys. Hold on, though. We gotta watch this.
about that. But then again, he moves on to the next part of the video, and he says that ChatGPT 4.0 is really amazing. It's amazing, even though it's a horrible thing because it stole from everybody. But it's amazing because it can translate text really quickly, teach kids about triangles, and it sounds like it's really hot and sexy, and it'll hit on you. Then he takes that, segues into likeness and copyright, and how legislation isn't going to be able to keep up with AI because it's evolving way too fast for
Probably
the
true.
old people at the White or the Congress buildings
yeah.
to come up with new laws to stop it in its tracks to protect all the people from the copyrighted material.
I
from
think there
being,
should be
stolen,
legislation to probably like
'cause
slow
it
it
scrubbed
down
all
a
the
bit.
internet and all the data and blah 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 blah. So then Scarlett
Like, give
Johansson
people time
is
to
getting
prepare.
into a lawsuit with OpenAI
I don't know.
because
I don't have an
Scarlett
answer for
Johansson
that.
was asked by Sam.
Yeah.
And
I'm not
Sam
in-
tweeted something saying
I
her,
don't like the
which,
idea of slowing
was
things down, but at
relevant
the same
to
time,
a movie with
I
Scarlett
know and
Johansson
acknowledge
and
that the political
Joker, whatever, I
process
forget
is
his
too
name.
slow to handle
Not Heath
certain
Ledger,
things.
but the new one, the newer guy or something like that. And in that movie, Scarlett Johansson is the AI who goes on dates with the Joker or whatever. And then Scarlett Johansson, all this is very, very much so coincidental. But he is to go as far to say that it is enough evidence to condemn OpenAI of stealing Scarlett Johansson's voice. if not stealing, getting somebody to sound like her on purpose, which again he implies in the video that that's morally wrong because they want Scarlett Johansson. Scarlett Johansson says no.
How do you feel about that? Using
I
AI to
would
copy the
probably,
likeness.
so like getting somebody that sounds like somebody else to do a thing that is like could be used in like a inappropriate or provocative way is probably like I would agree with Ludwig. I think it probably is morally
Does
wrong.
it have to be inappropriate or provocative? What if it was just using the likeness?
Still, I think it's still probably
It's fucked up.
because the thing is that you're trying to sell the image that like this is this person, right? And if it's not used in like a clear wink wink nudge nudge sort of way where like people would hire like fake Morgan Freeman voice actors to do things,
Yeah.
I think that's probably it's still like a little off. It's still like a little weird to do it,
It
but I
certainly
don't think
feels
it's like
weird.
morally wrong. However, with this, I do think like they're trying to sell the image that like, hey, this is this thing in like clear reference to this movie, um, with Scarlett Johansson and Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah.
Sorry, they're trying to like sell an image, and I don't. I think it's a little probably not great. I don't think that they should probably do that. But like, I don't know.
Seems like a fine line, and it could get kind of blurry and hard to determine where
Yeah,
something
yeah.
falls.
It's like where do we kind of stop the ball on this?
Yeah. When it could be considered defamation.
Well, defamation is really tricky to talk about whenever it comes to public figures. Especially with the AI stuff, I think it gets even trickier. But
Yes,
are
I
you
am.
hand shuffling
Can you hear
right
that?
now?
Can you hear that, buddy?
I can't, but maybe he can.
I had it right next to the microphone.
He's doing some fucking ASMR while we're fucking. He can hear it.
I'll show you all. This is my Monster Mash deck for Edison. I've been working on Edison videos. I just posted one. Check it out. Toss it a like. Shameless plug.
You're just playing your own stuff. It's fine.
Let me
You're
show
playing
you.
your own stuff on your own stream, like
well,
chill, bud.
Yeah, well, this is for the other channel, right?
Fair.
Yeah. All right, let's continue.
So like, it's just as believable on one hand that they did find somebody who sounds eerily similar to Scarlett Johansson just to capitalize on the hype. But I digress. That is not important. I'm just going off on a random tangent. The reason why that is important is because Ludwig is wondering about likeness because of SpongeBob text-to-speech for his Twitch. So, there's a lot of things going on there. But what that brings me to, the reason I'm going to comment on, what I'm going to talk about is why I think copyright is stupid. I don't like copyright anymore. I think the more I think about it, we were raised on copyright's good. It's for creative people. It's for artists to get paid for their work, to protect authors from their work being stolen, from thieves, intellectual property. It's to incentivize people to create. But the more I think about it, and this is still more of a feelings argument, I haven't really hashed it out. I haven't really done the digging, searched the data, but I think the basic premises of the arguments that I have come up with are good enough for me to just like start to lean a lot more that copyright shouldn't be a thing. So the first argument I would say is copyright can only really be utilized by people with a lot of money. So huge corporations like Disney are the only entities that seem to be able to really capitalize on copyright because their material, if someone steals Disney's material, they're coming at you with the full extent of the law, and they are ready to take you down, and put you into fine jail so you can never make money again. Me, for instance, if I made this YouTube video and a bunch of like AI botters or whatever, some botters came by and just like stole my content, stole my voice to create the likeness of my voice, and then whatever, or took my content and clipped it up and made whatever they wanted, I would not really have the time or resources to really go after them. So therefore, copyright on paper sounds like it's really helping me, but again, it's only helping those with money, which is the top 1%.
So his point, the only people able to enforce copyright laws with lawyers and stuff are the people who have the money in the first place.
Uh-huh.
How do you feel about that, Cal? You think that's true?
I would generally disagree.
Why is
Yeah.
that?
Because I don't think our system, especially is based off of like who has the most money. I think there are some issues with it, like where you can just drown somebody in like paperwork forever. But those are not as common as it's portrayed from what I understand. Um, so my general issue with a lot of this stuff is it's like not actually like played out in reality. Especially whenever it comes to like internet stuff, copyright is like very, very like behind the times for like the internet stuff. Um, like for instance, like YouTube videos and whatnot, like reacting like this could be under fair use.
Hello?
To my knowledge, there's only been like one, and that was the H3H3 case,
Oh,
from
okay.
like 2016 or whatever, where they won, but it was like a tricky case, from what I understand. But there's just not a lot of like cases on copyright for the internet stuff. But even like what he was talking about with what was it, the using his likeness and recreating his videos. So for YouTube, there's like a lot of systems in place to where you can copyright like a lot of people's, or you can take down a lot of people's videos that try that type of stuff.
This type stuff?
No, what he was talking about, where if somebody like re-uploads his videos,
Oh, okay.
he could get them taken down if he can just like pretty easily prove like, hey, here's my video. This is when I uploaded it. If you want, I can send you the original video or whatever. Here's the video that is taking my stuff. Um, could we take
Yeah.
it down? Copyright infringement stuff.
Does that become more difficult when they slightly alter the video?
Um, yes, because it can be considered transformative. Like what we're doing right now, like I said earlier, it's like really tricky because what is defined as transformative isn't isn't set in stone. Um, so like us talking over the video could be deemed as transformative. It could also be deemed as non-transformative, but I would say that it probably is. But if it's just like the video in and of itself, maybe there's a color shift and it's like sped up to 1.25. I don't think that that's transformative enough to where it would avoid copyright. Um, but I
Because you
don't
see a
know.
lot of those videos on YouTube of like King of the Hill, but where it zooms in and out every so often.
Yeah, I don't think that those are allowed under YouTube's like terms of services. The thing is that a lot of those just don't get picked up by the system,
Yeah.
from what I would have to guess. Because like sometimes you'll see, like whenever I was like 14 or something, there's a playlist on YouTube that had all of the original Naruto series on there, right? Like the first few seasons or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And then while I was watching it, it got fucking taken down. So I was like, okay, like yeah, I mean like there's certain things and whatnot. There are some issues I would agree that should be ironed out. But like this is the internet, especially like this type of stuff, is like fairly new.
Hmm.
Um, so we should get legislation on it. But the big thing isn't necessarily legislation. It's more along the lines of there's not a lot of cases whenever it comes to like video on the internet.
So
Cases.
let's wrap it back to the video.
Yeah. Sorry.
So you agree or disagree with the premise that copyright laws are better in favor of larger businesses?
I would disagree.
He disagrees. Okay.
I would say that they're just in general probably good for everybody, because most of the time you aren't fighting a if you're a if you're not abusing, if you're using copyrighted material from somebody that's not a large corporation, you can still be taken down for that, right? But
Mm-hmm.
if you're somebody who's abusing or not, not abusing copyright. If you're using copyrighted material against like a larger company, it probably will be worse for you, just because like the damages might be higher
They have
if it's
more
large enough.
ability to chase after you, and that was the
They also have
point,
more
though.
ability
That
to
was the
like
point of the comment.
get larger damages
Right,
as
right.
well.
So you would say, is that favoring them then?
I don't think it's favoring them because
Because
it's
the
just
end
like
result's the same. They
yeah, it's
they
getting taken
reclaim.
down.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, but being able to reap more rewards for when that happens, isn't that favorable?
I don't think so. I think it's just like you have
To
you have more
recoup
to
more of the
lose.
value that
Yeah,
you
you have more to
lost.
lose, so that you have possibly more to gain if you
That sounds like
catch on.
in favor of. But
I don't think so,
let us
because you
continue.
have less to lose
You have less to
if
lose.
you're a smaller
Okay,
creator. Yeah,
okay.
you have like
Yeah,
less to lose,
I get you.
so less to gain.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're actually
If
right.
you're a large corporation, you have more to lose, right? Like if you have a fucking video of Mickey Mouse
Right.
fucking Minnie Mouse, like you have more to lose from people to seeing that than if you have Poppy Playtime being seen fucking Huggy Wuggy or whatever. I don't know.
No, I get you actually now. I agree
Yeah,
completely.
yeah.
I agree.
I don't. It's just kind of like it's not favoring them because um realistically, like whoever the copyright holder is, it's favoring them, of course, the copyright holder, but like the copyright holder, the size of the copyright holder doesn't matter until you get into the damages and the gains
Right, the potential
after
gains or
that.
losses. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I gotcha. Let's move on.
More or less. I mean, there's nuances there, obviously, so just take that with a grain of salt, but that is one of the main basic arguments of why I don't like copyright. Now, moving on, the first thing I started thinking about copyright, which I didn't really like
Second
it,
thing.
is that I don't feel intellectual property is real. What I mean by that is that I don't feel that Isaac Newton discovering gravity and forming the formulas or whatever, presenting that means that it is his intellectual property. Like, yes, in history, he was the
That's not. I don't think that's how that works.
Yeah, yeah. So he doesn't claim ownership of, gravity and the
He's
idea of
claimed as
gravity.
the founder or like finding and then like creating those formulas and all
Right,
that stuff.
right,
But that stuff isn't like
right,
copyrighted.
right.
That
Let's let
stuff
him
isn't.
continue his thought though.
Yeah, go ahead.
first to discover, and that will always be his, at least
I
as
think it's
long
just
as
a bad
our
example
modern history
Yeah.
history
or poor
exists.
example.
But fundamentally, it was there to begin with, and he doesn't necessarily own that. So to
Okay, so he's using it to demonstrate, like, ignore the fact that it's not a direct correlation.
Uh-huh.
The
Well,
idea
we could use
is,
a better example,
yeah,
like the first person to discover electricity, right?
right,
They wouldn't own electricity. They would probably own like how electricity is transferred through like specific types of like wire.
the technology
The
to
technology is what's
manipulate
protected
that
under
electricity.
intellectual property. The thing itself is not.
Right.
Everybody can use gravity or electricity. It's just like how the thing is being used, how it's being applied in a specific format that is what is the intellectual property, right?
Right.
So Thomas Edison, with the light bulb or whatever, he, if I'm not mistaken, he didn't invent the light bulb. He just made it way better. That format of the light bulb would be his, but not like light itself wouldn't be his.
Um,
If you get what
I
I'm
get what you're
putting
saying.
down.
I mean, some of those facts could be checked, but
I mean, well,
I get what
I'm
you're
pretty
saying.
sure Thomas Edison didn't create the light bulb, but he did,
Did he invent the
like,
filament? Because that's what the light bulb is. The filament.
Thomas.
I'm pretty sure he did he not?
The filament, I think he created the format in which that we use it now, or like we used to use it prior to LEDs. But the light bulb itself was already a thing. It just was like he created the. I'm pretty sure he created the better version of it.
All right.
But I could be wrong on that.
It's besides the point. So fact check that on your own time, guys.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right
That's
now.
not a perfect comparison, but to tie that to the rest of it, who owns melodies? Who own, if you string notes together to make a pattern, or if I write words on a paper to make a story or whatever, it's all derivative of something. And even the people who have, if you broke it down into the most basic reductionist forms of just like sounds, letters, numbers, etc., it's not those people who discovered those things or put those things together, they don't own them. They're just organizing something that is already there into a different shape.
So, how do you feel about that one?
Sorry, can you rewind like 20 seconds?
You weren't listening.
I'm reading about Thomas Edison.
He's talking about how music. So you have
the music
individual
thing.
notes, and then when you combine them in a certain way, that doesn't change. Doesn't mean you can own that combination. Is what he's saying. You shouldn't be able to own a combination of sounds.
I think music you probably have a better argument for, like, to a degree. But at the same time, like, it does go back into like finding a replacement for a song, or like creating a replacement for a song, right?
Yeah.
Which is kind of like the intention behind like copyright and then like infringement stuff, is like, hey, you shouldn't be able to make a replacement of a thing by just using that thing, right? There's no like transformative nature to it, right? And with music, since music is primarily like the sounds and whatnot that you are hearing, right? So like the melody, the beat,
Mm-hmm.
the whatever, and less about the vocals, even though they are important for most music. It's less about that, and it's more on the the music itself. So it probably is important that it is protected, because you don't want to just, I don't know, like flood the market with a bunch of the exact same sounding songs or whatever. I don't know. I think this is probably a better example than Gravity or whatever.
I think he's. I think he's. And I could be wrong, but he might be. God, fuck. He might be oversimplifying what makes music music.
Yeah, probably. Because a lot of music already uses like similar chords and
Mm-hmm.
whatnot, but the formulation of it all is like still pretty different.
Yeah.
Like the tempo, the beat, the melody, like most of that stuff is still really different from other stuff. And then whenever you see songs that do use and not even like sampling, but they're close enough to the point where they do go for legal action, those cases are pretty rare, and I think they usually do go for the copyright holder.
So when I think of examples of cases like that, I think of Vanilla Ice and
Ice Ice Baby and
Under Pressure.
Queen's Under Pressure.
Yeah, that's the one I think of always.
Yeah. Um,
What was the end result of
I
that though? I don't think.
oh they got credit. Queen got credit and probably some of the paycheck. That's usually how it goes.
Yeah,
They
but
don't take the
Ice
song
Ice Baby,
down.
yeah, Ice Ice Baby's still around. You can still
Yeah.
enjoy that song forever. But
Because it is a classic, beautiful piece of
Ice Ice
musical
Baby.
history.
Dun 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 dun.
um,
Something like
but
that.
yeah, there are also obviously other examples that and whatnot. But
So, you mentioned something before. The like copyright laws preserving the uniqueness of like music.
yeah.
Yeah.
hmm Is there anything you wanna
Well,
add to that,
well,
or
I think there's
what do you?
I think there's some value to that.
Well, yeah, of course.
We gotta.
Like it's probably not like a good thing to just like here's one song that we're just repeatedly reusing, or like not us, but like a bunch of different people are repeatedly using that is like owned by somebody else that's like, hey, I don't want you guys to do this. Like, I made this thing, I worked on this thing, I should have some like ownership over it, right?
Mhm. All right, let's continue.
Okay.
Go
And
ahead.
now that may be something, like I said, with Sir Isaac Newton or whatever. Sorry, I don't know if that's not you. Isaac Newton, um, him discovering the gravitational math or the math behind gravity or whatever. That will always be his legacy, but he doesn't get any royalties for that. We don't pay Isaac Newton for all the science derived from his monetarily. Socially, we pay him to every time we expand on gravity, the gravity science, all that science and stuff like that. Like we pay him homage, even though we really don't. I mean, you learn it, but I mean, you don't really, unless you're a fan of it, you're not really paying him. But anyway, yeah, like socially we're paying him, but we're not paying him monetarily. So then, why are we paying people for songs and stuff like that? Why do they get rights and they get to make money off what other people's money they make? You made the thing, you get credit for it, and you'll always have that credit if you're able to establish that you did that thing. But I mean, Harry Potter is a fantastic book and stuff like that, but ultimately it breaks down to like key basic elements that like a lot of other people could write about. It could be broken up
Oh, can you pause it
into an
here?
infinite number of stories. It's just
Yeah.
it borrows from.
And you very well could do this, right? You could just change the
What
names of
do?
Harry Potter. Um, and
Well, no, yeah, I mean, like, you'd have to do like substantial rewriting on it. Like, you can't just take the book, change the names, and like resell it. Like,
yeah, rewrite the story. Yeah.
but like at that point, it is transformative enough to where it could be like its own thing, though.
Right. You could take the plot of Harry Potter and write it as a similar story.
Yeah, absolutely. So long as like it's different enough to
Right.
where like it could be an homage or it could be a spiritual successor, but so long as it's different enough. Also, I was correct on the Edison thing. Other people had created light
Filaments and
bulbs and
stuff like
whatnot.
that.
But yeah, no, he was the first one to do like the settling on bamboo is the best filament
Okay.
or whatnot. Yeah,
I see.
yeah. But no, this is like kind of I don't know. I think it's a bit of a silly argument. You have to do it's like the work itself is defined by like the setting, the characters, the like the story itself and all that other stuff. There's more parts to it than like the most basic hero's journey thing like possible. But yeah.
Getcha.
So many other things. How is it like that's so? I mean, rambling aside, do you kind of see where I'm coming from here? To really just tie that up and just to move on. The main reason why copyright, I think, is needs to go. Ultimately, just needs to go. And I think a lot of people should really think about this and really, maybe if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Call me out. Do whatever. Let's have the conversation. But copyright really needs to go because it's standing in the way of progress. I mean, music aside, all that fun stuff. is one thing. But when it comes to something as revolutionary as ChatGPT, and that's just like an early iteration of what this technology could become, if we're going to start here nickel and diming because they scrub the internet for publicly available data, if you really cared about the copyright, you would have protected the data, and you would have. It's hard for me to believe that you wouldn't have put behind a paywall.
Pause
so
it
waiting
here.
for him to finish his point.
Or like I don't
Okay,
know,
go
like,
for it.
because if we take copyright further, like if ChatGPT isn't allowed to be trained, an entity isn't allowed to learn, machines learning, because our brains are machines too, and they learn. Couldn't you then argue that like our memories are copyright violations because we are recording in our brains material?
Okay, I'm gonna pause there for you.
Okay. So my thing is though is like he doesn't like why would you want to get rid of it? Like ChatGPT is already seemingly protected under copyright. So you would just argue for like not expanding copyright to affect ChatGPT instead of getting rid of copyright.
He's saying
Right.
that copyright laws shouldn't apply to ChatGPT.
Yeah, but he's also saying that we should get rid of copyright.
Yeah.
Yeah. But while at the same time saying it doesn't affect copyright, why not argue for like not advancing copyright further to where it would affect stuff like ChatGPT?
Yeah.
Yeah, it just seems like instead of having the
He thinks all copyright is bad, though, right? It
Yeah,
shouldn't,
yeah,
that
which
it
is,
shouldn't
like,
expand. It
it's-
should be shrunk.
but my question would be like from this like argument is like why though?
Well, he's saying because it hinders progress
That,
For ChatGPT?
for AI in general.
But it seemingly doesn't though. I don't think there's been any copyright cases taken against AI.
Right. Yeah. Right, but as you said,
I
people are getting upset, right?
Yes, they're getting upset,
But we'll
but I
see
also
if
think a lot of people have probably talked to some lawyers
realize
and they're
there's
just
something
like,
they can
no.
do.
There probably is realistically nothing they can do.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I don't get the argument of like instead of going and like staying where we are, like hey, there's no reason to change it. I think that ChatGPT and stuff like this is already really good, so I don't think we should hinder it further or hinder it at all by like furthering copyright law. Why is he going in the complete opposite direction or like horseshoeing into or not horseshoeing, but just like taking a complete 180 on it instead of a 90 degree. I don't know. I'm trying to say why is he going like all the way the other
Yeah,
way?
he's taking a hard
He's taking the
position.
hard opposite example or argument against the furtherment of copyright.
Yeah.
Which I think is it's just, I don't know. It just
doesn't
seem,
belong to us. So then it should
I don't
be,
know.
you know, if we quote something like, I remember
you're right.
before the internet, everybody used to quote South Park episodes. They used to quote Step Brothers nonstop. All that technically would be a copyright violation. So then, what I'm
he's
saying
wrong on
about
that. He's wrong on that.
Yeah.
It's not. It like words themselves aren't. But if you were to like post the entire movie, it would because it's a replacement for the thing. You can't really find a replacement in the text just of a thing. So he is, from what I understand of copyright, I'm pretty sure he's just like entirely wrong.
Well, it's not the same thing anymore when you say it.
Yeah, you're as he said, you're quoting something.
Right.
Right? If I quote like a paragraph out of Harry Potter, I'm not committing a copyright violation. I'm quoting a piece of work.
Mm-hmm.
about copyright is that if it's going to get in the way of AI being able to be trained, I really don't think that it's worth our time because, yeah, OpenAI is going to is going to make a lot of money. They've already made a lot of money. And the people who create AI products are going to make a lot of money. But on the consumer side of things, what I'm able to run and manage about I'm running and managing 5 YouTube channels right now without hiring a team because of what AI has already offered me. Like in terms of like this background removal, ChatGPT helping me like write and create images or research things, and I can't like it's got all the internet data on it already for it to just pull data from and help me like manage these channels and create content while working a full-time job, working 46 to 64 hours a week. I'm just one piece of the puzzle, man. There's a lot people out there a lot more industrious than I am, and they'll take AI and run with it and create these insanely efficient businesses, which will drive the cost of goods down. Because with scale comes, lower cost. And in this society, if you could beat out the Walmart, you're going to have a cheaper Walmart. And if you could make a cheaper Walmart or cheaper Amazon with the same quality of goods, that's only good for, the average person. So if copyright's going to get in the way of driving the cost of everything down, that's only ultimately hurting poor people to begin with. I'm not trying to signal here, but I think that we need to be progressing humanity to bring the bottom up. Isn't that like what the liberals and even the everybody, all these political parties are just like, they speak about being the voice of some poor person somewhere, but then when it comes down to stuff like this, they just want to, they want to hold their bags. Like Ludwig, I don't want to make that judgment with him personally. I don't know a lot of his content. I'm only speaking about it because this popped up. But I'm just saying. It might be time for copyright to go. And feel free to disagree with me. Feel free to debate me down in the comments. Give me a perspective that I don't really know. But I'm pretty passionate about this because I am hopeful for AI and its ability to automate and bring more of the third world into the first world, and to bring the poor people in our country up. You know what I mean? To give more opportunity, more abilities to create wealth for average people. And just the little ways that I've used AI, I could see infinite potential out of it, just in its form right now. And copyright stands with these lawsuits and stuff like that to get in the way of that. And that's ultimately what I'm complaining about here. So, with that being said, let me wrap this up. Thank you.
So he's ultimately complaining about. So he's saying there are lawsuits like that are going on right
Yeah,
now.
I'm looking this up right now.
Yeah.
Authors Paul Tremblay and Mona Odd are suing OpenAI for allegedly infringing on authors' copyrights. Butterick is one of the attorneys representing the authors. The complaint estimates that more than 300,000 books were copied in OpenAI's training data. The suit seeks an unspecified amount of data.
So nothing's gone through yet, but it's.
There are suits that are being are like trying to be pushed through.
Right. So he's more taking his stance on how the suits should play out, right?
I imagine he's just saying that he would want them to fail. Yeah, I would agree. I don't think that it is. I think it would be transformative enough to the point where it what probably doesn't affect copyright, right? But the question is like, do we afford like some level of what would be the right way to say that? Some level of like, what's the? I want to say charity, but it's not charity. Some level of like humanity to AI. I don't know. Where because people do this, right? They create something, and it is like inspired by inspired by this, or it's like derivative of this, but it's like transformative enough to where it's like fine.
Mm-hmm.
Do we offer that to like AI, or is like everything they do like, since it was created off a model of
No, we offer it
like
to AI.
sure, huh?
We offer it to AI.
Do we? Because like it's like legally it's like a very gray area. Do animals have copyright? Like if an elephant creates like a picture,
No.
right, through painting,
Wait. Are you saying
do
that the
they own
copyright would belong to the AI itself? Is that what you're saying? Because somebody owns
No,
the AI.
not necessarily. Just like somebody owns an elephant, right?
Right.
But is that the elephant's property? Is like kind of what I'm
No,
saying.
no, it's not the elephant's property. It's not the AI's property. It's the person who,
Sure.
well, if they go to copyright something. Well, I guess I'm a little confused about what you mean. Are you saying, like, could a person go and copyright something an AI made?
I don't. I from. Fuck. I'm pretty sure I just saw this, but like on from somewhere it said that copyrighted stuff or AI stuff can't be copyrighted because it's made by an AI. It's not human. So my assumption would be anything that's made by a non-human wouldn't uh, wouldn't be copyrightable.
Interesting.
So it would just be up for whoever. Anybody could use it.
Okay. Um, but like somebody designed the AI. I don't know. That shouldn't take any part
They
in
would own
the
copyright of the AI, but they wouldn't own copyright of
what
like
the
what
AI
is
made.
created. Yes.
Okay.
So they would like own the like the formula or the AI and like that, but they wouldn't own probably what's created by the AI. From what I understand, of course.
Okay.
I don't.
Cool. Well, so you don't disagree with them in the end. You agree with his
I
premise.
disagree with like his overall view of like let's get rid of copyright. I do agree with him. I think AI is like or will be. I don't think right now it's too useful for most things.
Mm-hmm.
I do think it will be incredibly useful in the future, like 15 years from now. And I don't think that we should like hinder it too much. I think there could be some ways that we can hinder it that'll be fine. But mainly in like job sectors, so we have time to prepare for mass layoffs of people. Um, but like other than that, I think it's fine. Don't pull up his Facebook.
It's not up.
Okay, well,
It's no. It's like he has a Facebook page
his own
specifically
Facebook,
for
yeah.
this. Yeah, specifically for this though.
What was I gonna say? Uh, yeah.
I was looking
But do you
for his other
understand
channels. I
but
understand
what
what you're
I'm
saying.
saying?
I actually agree. Um, yeah, copyright should stick around.
Yeah, yeah.
And
It's
I'm
just like a question of like like what does it apply to? Like who does it apply to? If a million monkeys perfectly created a Rick and Morty episode, can Rick and Morty or like Adult Swim like sue
well.
those
I
monkeys?
assume you've seen those AI Rick and Morty and AI SpongeBob shit.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be the content itself that would be copyrighted. It would be the characters.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah, because as I said, also like I don't usually most companies won't take stuff down like that. It's except for like Disney and Nintendo will take down fucking everything um, that has any sort of their IP. But most businesses don't, so long as it's not inappropriate content. From what I've seen, of course.
Unless you're Nintendo.
Unless you're Nintendo or Disney, there are those two are like the most litigious of all and entertainment media companies. Excuse me.
So yeah, check out his YouTube channels. Actually, I know how to get the other ones to pop up. Here we are.
Yeah.
He's got old school RuneScape, his React channel, StarCraft 7 Days. That's one I forgot was old school RuneScape.